God's extraordinary light is in ordinary faithfulness. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. This is part number 4. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, thanking the Lord that even when it's snowing, we can study. We can get into the Word. And today we're going to look at an example of somebody whose past would not be an indicator of their present. Epaphroditus. He mentions him. Paul is mentioning him here in the book of Philippians, where he says, "Yet I suppose it necessary to send to you Epaphroditus, my brother and companion in labor and fellow soldier, but your messenger, and he that ministered to my wants." So now he's affirming Epaphroditus, and he's calling him all of these positive words. But it's interesting that this was probably a brother who's kind of new to the faith, or he's not someone who was born in the way because of the fact that his name, Epaphroditus, he either or his parents, they are using a name that refers back to Aphrodite. She was a goddess. But here you got Epaphroditus getting affirmed on all different kinds of levels. So this is why it's so important to remember that our past, when we are in Christ, it is not as important as our present in Christ. This brother gets called up. He gets called out for being somebody that Paul looks to. And even in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 12, it says, "And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you. For example, Epaphroditus, and over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves." Esteem them, why? Esteem them highly because of the work that they're doing. Oh, it doesn't matter what degree you have or don't have. When I say that, yes, it's significant to have it. But when it comes to how much you can help someone, there's no limit on how you can help someone as long as you are willing to help them. Paul is telling us here that, look, this brother is somebody that we can esteem, and it's just for doing what God has asked him and called him to do. When we as brothers and sisters treat family like we simply should treat family, God sees that. God values that. And in fact, he says that's what we should be affirming. Character like Philippians chapter 4, verse 18. "But I have all and abound. I am full, having received again of Epaphroditus the things which were sent from you, an odor of a sweet smell, a sacrifice acceptable." This is a living sacrifice right here. We talked about that. And a sacrifice that is what? Well-pleasing to God. He had to trust that even with handling money, like one of the very things that can get brothers tripped up. He said this man was faithful enough to take what was given, collected, and to see that it went to where it was needed. So all of these levels of faithfulness, what is Epaphroditus doing? Again, he is a light. The light of God in him does not know his age, doesn't matter how old or young he is. The light of God and the call of God, it is in him. It's who he is. And because of this, he's not just being called out as shining his light. Paul says, look at his light. Look at that life. Esteem what this brother is doing and respect what he is doing and follow that example. Grateful to see the magnanimous nature of Paul, to not try and make himself more important, so important that he doesn't recognize other people around him. That's one of the dangers of ministry. And God is calling us out of that trap to recognize the good that we see, no matter who we see it in, because again, the good that we are seeing in them, it is God. The light that we are seeing in them is coming from the capital L-I-G-H-T. And that's Jesus Christ.